and seniors are going hungry, and people can't go to work because they don't have enough money to put gas in their vehicle. Any MP who spends time in their riding or reads any of their emails knows how dire the cost of living crisis is. Yet, inflation continues to rise under this Liberal government. So are they just not listening to Canadians, or do they just not care?
Great question.
The Honourable Minister for Tourism.
Mr. Speaker, our government and I empathize with Canadians in the rising price of inflation, which is caused by Russia's illegal war in Ukraine, supply chain snarls, and the zero-COVID policy in China. But, Mr. Speaker, let us look at the facts, and I hope my colleagues will help me keep the other side accountable. When we passed the...
I know everybody wants to hear the answer, so I'll let the minister start from the top, and I'm sure everybody will be quiet so they can hear it all. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the honourable member's question. We emphasize with the rising costs of gas and of groceries, Mr. Speaker. That is why we have an affordability plan. But, Mr. Speaker, let us take a look at the record. When this side cut taxes on the middle class and raised it on the wealthiest 2 times, how did the Conservatives vote? They voted against. What did they do when we had the Canada Child Benefit, Mr. Speaker? They voted against. What did they do when we put money in for teachers, Mr. Speaker? The Conservatives voted against. What did they do when we rose money for seniors, Mr. Speaker? The Conservatives voted against. We vote for, they vote for against. We're here for affordability.
The Honourable Member for Provencher.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, too many Canadians are unable to afford basic essentials like gas and groceries, and this Liberal government keeps passing the buck. They refuse to admit that it's their own policies that are creating higher prices and exacerbating the situation. Will this government finally do the right thing, suspend the GST on fuels, and help lower the cost of groceries for Canadian families?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank my honourable colleague for his perspective on the matter, but let's actually take a look at the economic fundamentals of this country. Our GDP grew 5.6% in Q1, making us the second fastest growing economy in G7, on track to be the fastest growing economy in G7. AAA credit rating in place. We've recovered 115% of 3 million jobs lost, faster than our colleagues in the United States, and we have a trade surplus of over $6 billion. The Conservatives don't like that the economy's doing well. Canadians do, and that's why we will focus on affordability, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Cumberland-Colchester.
Mr. Speaker, recent studies which suggest that up to 1 in 5 Canadians do not have access to primary care. In Nova Scotia, there's 95,000 people without primary care. The president of the Canadian Medical Association has stated that what is clearly coming is the collapse of the current health care system. This Prime Minister continues to talk about 7,500 healthcare providers. None have materialized. When is this government of inaction going to give Canadians the healthcare system they so deserve?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health.
I thank my honourable colleague for his question and for his collaboration on the Health Committee. Our government recognizes the importance of high-quality primary care and also